The Informed Youth Investment is a national nonprofit. We call ourselves an action tank. Our job is to really bridge research, policy, practice to help state and local decision makers primarily do better for kids. Make sure that they are ready for college, work, and life, ready by 21. Probably for the past 10 years, our work has increasingly focused on working with partnerships. This is pre-collective impact, but increasingly because what we brought into the community was a youth development perspective, which is sort of a whole child perspective, which essentially argued if you really put the child or the young person in the center, you have to think about academics, about health, about social emotional skills, you can't just, so the fact that we have our systems and our funding chopped up into little fragmented pieces doesn't do well for kids. So our work has really focused on, both at the policy level and the partnership level, how to really take those fragments and put them together in a meaningful way so that the sum is greater than the parts. Collective impact came along and obviously did two things. One, it certainly validated all of the lessons that we had been learning about what you need to do to create these strong partnerships. But the other thing that it did was to light a fire under these partnerships. In a sense, collective impact in the FSG article basically called them out. It was like an emperor has no clothes moment in which the argument was, one, partnerships are extremely important, and there's this complex work that can't get done by any single organization or system and entity. So these cross-system, cross-sector partnerships focused on big goals are the way to go. And there's no goal bigger than raising children. So in northern Kentucky, which is right across the river from Cincinnati, there had been multiple education initiatives that were pretty big, run by the Chamber of Commerce. This is a string of counties and school districts, there are about 17 superintendents. They had an association that they were working together on common things and common agendas. The United Way had an education agenda. So multiple education agendas of folks sort of lightly bumping into each other, knowing that they existed, but they really hadn't had an incentive to sit down and do this mapping. So we provided that incentive. And then with that discipline, it took them about 2 years, but they really figured out who they were doing, how they were going to do it, what region made sense for them to cover, what age groups. When new things come to town, they're brought to that table. They're not taken to a separate room and somebody hoards it. So grade level reading initiative comes to town. Of course it should be brought to the Northern Kentucky Education Council. In the long term, as we're really talking about shared agendas and increased capacity, to be able to really both organize for large-scale change, use data differently, and organize to get different resources. These are all early examples that they've really built something that's going to last.